Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're hoping nobody drills today. We're going to see what happens with the pod. There was a lot of noise before I got started, and I had to have a conversation outside, and I felt like every freaking housewife, even though I'm not married, no children, I'm out here in my flip-flops. I'll let you know, specialty flops. For any of the children that want to know, I'm out here in the streets in my Wu-Tang clogs. Shout out to Wu-Tang, protect your neck. It's for the children, yelling at people that are working on a house above. And let's just hope that the spirit guides and the gods above are on our sides and there's no drilling. Cue the drilling in 3, 2. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. First, I want to tell you that you're not going to believe, maybe you will. You're not going to believe what my dog ate this week. But then again, it feels like this is a reoccurring situation with Carlin, who is a garbage disposal, but we'll tell you what happened. It was a fiasco, another fiasco, which is all life is. Life is a collection of fiascos. That's all it is. And you basically have to navigate through all of that. And basically, as an adult, they don't tell you that when you're a child, that when you're an adult, you're going to have to tread the waters of life. I've been doing that with Carlin. Carlin's barely been treading. He won't stop eating. But I want to get into some Maybe mail that I forgot about the past couple weeks. First of all,
you've got mail.
On a couple episodes ago, talked about my man having one sponge for everything, for the dishes, for the countertops, for whatever else. And to that, I say absolutely not. We have a studio falling apart. To the one sponge, I say absolutely not. And apparently you guys agreed with me. Kristen Irene, I'm trying to read your name, Kristen Irene. She says, oops, I meant to respond to now 1 million episodes ago. Same. Here I am responding to your response from an episode that is many episodes ago. She says, a hard no on the counter sponge also being used to wash dishes. 2 separate sponges, preferably different colors, so no one gets it twisted. God bless. God bless to you, Kristen Irene. I wholeheartedly agree. Everyone agrees. We need extra sponges. We can't be using a sponge for everything. I don't know if anyone listening is like, what's the big deal? You're going to wipe your countertops and then wipe your dish and think you're cleaning your dish? You want countertop amoebas on your clean dish? Absolutely not. No way. It's a hard no for me, dog. There's another Maybe mail from really an OG. Do we remember who slid into the DM? Do you remember who that was? One of my, well, it was Unicorn Jess. I think I might have gotten it wrong, but one of my OG fans slid into the DMs of the person in question from last week's episode, Zach Zucker. We spoke about Zach Zucker and the whole situation at the Netflix is a Joke Fest. We don't have to open that up or rehash it. But one of my fans went in there and sent him a DM and said, absolutely not. Do better. Jessimae is an absolute queen. And to that, I say absolutely. To your absolutely not, I say absolutely. 157%. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the DM backup. You know how people always say 100%? Drives me nuts. I can't stand when people say 100%. So now I'm starting to say 122%. It's my version of the 100% by staying 100, but adding 22. Just a little bit extra. Add a little bit more. There are some other absolutely nots. I was on Justin Martindale's podcast. I'm not saying absolutely not to his podcast. I was on his podcast just saying last week, and we talked about the portal shutdown, which was something we were going to discuss on this podcast. I think a bunch of people have already talked about it. It happened. There was a portal in Times Square that had a direct connection to Dublin, of all places. And on Justin's podcast, we were talking about it, and I said, why do we need a portal? This thing looks antiquated. We have cell phones. Isn't FaceTime everyone's portal to anywhere, to everyone, to everywhere all at once? Why do we need this portal? It felt very old. It felt very antiquated. And of course, it doesn't take long for people to be the reason why we can't have nice things. And one of the OnlyFans models, or a girl who was on OnlyFans, showed her titties, popped her titties out. How original. How original to show your titties. I feel like, flashing your boob is basically as original as flashing your boob. No one needs to do that anymore. No one flashes boobies anymore. Not even your butt. You don't need to flash anything. Be useful. Be smart. If you're going to go into the portal and it's got a connection to wherever, you know what that portal should have a connection to? It should have a connection to a doctor's office because healthcare is expensive. So if they're going to have a portal in Times Square, I'm not going to flash my titties. I'm going to go up and flash my mole and my rash and be like, what is this? Can someone prescribe me some cream? Can someone tell me if I need extra help? Because healthcare is way too expensive. I'm going to use a portal as my healthcare system. The portal's my new doctor. I'm not showing you my boobies for a sexual reason. I'm showing you them to see if something's wrong. Why is this one so big and this one not so big? Why do I have Forrest Whitaker boobs? Can someone help me out? Call a doctor. I need a doctor. Summer's around the corner, so I need to get my skincare screening. I'm going to pop my mole in the portal and see if somebody in Dublin can be like, oh, sure and tis, not your lucky day. It looks like basal cell carcinoma. Sure and tis a situation of burning. Oh, you got your skin to burn in there. Didn't say I was good at accents. Not even good at the Syracuse accent, apparently. There was also a situation when I was at the gym. And, I don't really like to go to the gym as much as I used to. I used to go and have my freaking plan and squat it out. And now that I watched that show about all of the blue zones in the country or the world, really, the zones where people live on average above 100 years old. And there's this show about it. And this guy had this whole program and this case study, if you will, about what each civilization is doing in those particular parts of the world to live over 100. What are their secrets? And one of their secrets was some sort of heavy lifting, some sort of manual labor outside in nature. Not one of those locations had people going to LA Fitness. Not one. Not one going to Gold's Gym. Not one going to Bally's. Took me 45 years to get out of that contract. The Bally's Total Fitness contract, that thing is ironclad. Good luck trying to get out of that. They should have put Britney Spears in one of those. She wouldn't have been able to get out of it. Not that we wanted to keep her inside, but I'm saying if you want to keep someone locked to a contract, call Bally's Total Fitness. They're the ones that can help you figure out how to lock someone in. But all of these places in the world that people who are living over 100 have secrets for, not one is going to the gym. Not one of them goes to the gym. So I thought, I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill going to the gym. And it's definitely, I need to go to the gym is what I've realized. For me to live over 100, I got to go to the gym. I need to lift heavy things in a place where other people are lifting heavy things. That's all I've got right now. But the people were basically doing yard work and doing gardening and walking. None of them were on telepathical machine, Peloton elliptical. Not one of them was on the Peloton machine. They walked to the market to pick up potatoes and walked home. But I was at the gym last week, a couple weeks ago, and one of the things I can't stand, I think I'm pretty vocal about it, is when people are filming. Why are we filming? Don't film your workouts. If you're going to film your workouts, do it at home. Don't be rude. I don't want to be in the background of your budget Suzanne Summers Stop the Insanity at Home Fitness program that you're filming in a public gym. No one wants to be a part of it. And by the way, I'm a SAG member. You owe me money. You owe me money, honey. That's right. I'm in the background of your budget gym video. I better get a paycheck, and it better be more than what David Spade has sent. Better be more than what Comedy Knockout has sent, because I'm gonna sue you. But I was there working out, and I was in the background of some woman's fitness video, and I was so frustrated, and I had to battle between thinking, like I've mentioned before, have I become Clint Eastwood? Has everything just started to bother me? Has the ripple effect of real grief of losing both of my parents caused me to form a crack in my sweet center, and now the demon cloud has escaped? Is that what's happening? Because I don't know. Because in my head, while this woman is filming, I'm like, I'm going to say something. I really thought, I'm going to go talk to the manager. Have I become a Karen? But I feel like it's validated. What part of what you're doing do you think is that valuable for the rest of the world? And if it is so valuable, you should have your own gym. You should have your own gym. And you know what? Why not invest in you? I invested in me. Look, I talk nonstop. And I'm not doing it in a public place. I thought, well, let me create a little space for myself, girl. A little space for me. And guess what? I'm in your space and you're not paying me. I'm not getting paid. And your bullshit freaking Vera wannabe workout video. And the worst part, this woman's doing squats incorrectly. I realize I'm a know-it-all. It's a part of the Virgo vibe. And knew she was doing squats incorrectly. I'm not going to let her know. Pop your hip and see what happens. She was about 70 years old. This isn't throwing shade. This isn't elder abuse. I was about to perform elder abuse, allegedly, on this female for sure. A couple of like mid-60s women. And you know what? I thought, good for you. You're working out. That's amazing. Godspeed. Godspeed, truly. Truly, your journey is inspirational. Maybe don't film me. Maybe don't film me. Because your hip is going to get broken a little sooner than you thought. I just thought it was confusing. I was perplexed seeing these elderly women doing something that I deem to be something that Gen Z does. Doing something that I think that the generation just underneath me does. And to see these elder ladies performing something that seemed uncharacteristic out of their age group was very confusing. Then I thought, oh no, see, this is the demise of society. You're going to try and get famous at 65? Good luck, sis. Don't die in the process. I was furious. I really almost went and was like, excuse me? What would I have said? There are two old women filming their workouts. I would have sounded like a complete jerk. And maybe I was for thinking it. But I want to be able to like get into my workout, and I can't if I know I'm being filmed. Didn't they do like a study on even like plant life? Live organic creatures and critters that we don't think are sentient things, and they act differently when they're being filmed. I don't want to be filmed when I'm doing squat thrusts. Okay, Ethel? Stay home. Film your grandchildren instead. So annoying. Speaking of annoying white women activities, this one's a deep cut. This one's real specific. I've only seen it a few times happen in the wild. I feel like it's something that's seasonal. It only happens certain times of the year. First fall, first spring days, maybe even a first summer evening. It's very specific. I don't even know if it might be more regional, but when you see it, you can't unsee it. It's almost like seeing a unicorn. And it's when women walk around their neighborhood holding ceramic coffee mugs. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I have so many questions. The only reason that would be condoned is if A, you're wearing your brand new sweater that you just got from Marshall's. B, you're wearing your brand new house/outdoor shoes that you could wear outside and inside, but not all the way inside the house. They're basically just your walking shoes that you use, also from Marshall's. And C, sporting your new Ray Dune, you know, the cups, the mugs from Marshall's, and you're holding your new Ray Dune mug. That's the only way it works. And everything you're wearing and using has to be from Marshall's. If not, you are a walking and talking contrived cliche. And I hope you walk into a sewer grate or an open part of the sidewalk with your ceramic mug. Really? Is your life that easy? Your life is going so good that you trust that mug isn't going to smash on the ground? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you and your optimism. That's an optimistic, unrealistic human being. Just out here strolling around with a breakable mug in the real world? Are you crazy? I even white knuckle those in the house because I am a klutz. There's a lot of corners. I have 3 dogs. There are things waiting to trip you all over the place. I barely even hold a ceramic mug in my own home. This chick's out walking around, living her best life, acting like nothing's going to go wrong. I envy her. I envy her so much. Was I jelly? Yeah, I was a little jelly. I was a little jelly of the fact that she felt so cool, calm, and collected, not even bothered by life or what could happen in life, that she's out here holding a whole ceramic mug. And the only way I'm going to be okay with it is if it's all from Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, maybe even Ross Dross for Loss. Another annoying thing that happened this week was Deb and I were having a meeting at a place in Venice. And look, I'm a dog person. Debbie, my assistant, she's a dog person. We're both dog people. We love dogs. Love them, love them, love them. Could I live without them? No. I haven't lived without a dog since I can remember. Ever since I was born, there's been a critter in my life. Love them. I treat them like pets, but I also treat them like a part of the family as well. I'm not cray-cray. I'm like a healthy level of dog obsessed, I believe. We're out having a midday lunch meeting, scheming, making the dream come true, scheming the dream and screaming at each other and laughing. Probably, if anyone was listening, wouldn't understand what we were saying because of all the crazy work we do. And the entire time that we're eating and scheming, this dog is going the whole lunch for at least like an hour and a half, hour and a half. This dog is going. And not once did I see, I don't know if you saw, not once did I see this woman go, shh, 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 Fluffy, just be quiet now. Not even like a half-ass attempt to quiet the dog down. This dog went the whole time. And at first, Deb thought it was a duck. And I thought, well, oh, fun. I thought, oh, a duck? I'm going to say hi to it. If someone brought their duck to lunch, yeah, we're stopping everything and we're going to say hi to the duck. For sure. I'm going to ask it about Aflac. We're going to have a whole conversation. Not going to give it bread because I know that that's not good for its stomach. We're going to have a whole conversation. It literally sounded like a duck, but it was the entire lunch. And here's my thing. Does your dog need to go to lunch? I'd love to have all my dogs with me at lunch. Would love it. Would love it. Once in a while, I've even brought Chaplin with me as well. Unnecessary is what I say. Unless this dog is doing some important job, and I'm not going to consider sniffing gluten as one of those. Okay. If you're blind, cool. You got like a stumbling disease? Absolutely. Lost a leg in the war, lost an arm in a battle, 100%, without question. If you're gluten allergic and your dog sniffs gluten, not invited to the restaurant. Okay? And this might sound like celiac hate. It's not. I'm not celiac disease shaming anyone. I'm not sure that allowing the gluten sniffing dog into the restaurant is a smart door to open. Because the next thing you know, I've got my pre-eczema sniffing dog that has to come out to sniff my wrists for the onset of itchiness. Because if I get itchy, I can't. I just can't survive. Now it seems like these service dogs who actually there are dogs who actually service real disabilities and people who need assistance, people who have fought for the country and others who are born with like congenital diseases. They need certain animals to assist them in day-to-day life. That's necessary. If the dog is there to help you avoid discomfort, hey, I don't care. I don't care. I do not. Yo no caro is what I have to say. You got gluten allergy? Well, so do I. We all do. From throwing back so many hot dogs as children. From sniffing too many wheats. From overdoing it with the shredded wheat. Joe Peluso loved a frosted, shredded mini wheat. Probably would have developed some sort of gluten allergy had he lived long enough. The dog sniffing it, not invited to the restaurant. The dog barking sounding like a duck, not invited to the restaurant. How about we open up a dog-friendly restaurant where only dogs can go? I will say the one place where it's kind of okay is at a brewery. Maybe at one of those places, outdoor place, you know, those places that are fun that have like the hay stacks and they got hot cider drinks in the fall. Bring the dog there. A lot of stuff happening in the world that's fun. A lot of wild things. Speaking of animals and people bringing animals places they don't belong, snakes were found in a man's pocket going through Miami airport. This Associated Press, AP News, you know it's legit. Snakes almost on a plane. TSA discovers a bag with small snakes in a passenger's pants. And he's not just happy to see you. Miami. Of course in Miami. Of course this sort of thing would happen in Miami. Bienvenidos a Miami. Apparently this guy had juvenile palmetto corn snakes in his pocket. And first of all, it says that according to the TSA, officers at the Miami International Airport found the small bag of snakes hidden in a passenger's trousers at checkpoint. It feels like this guy is just setting somebody up. Like, you want to see snakes in my pocket? I am happy to see you. I also have snakes in my pocket. That would be so funny if this guy is like in the lounge and he goes up to a woman. He's like, hey, do you want to see the snake in my pocket? And she's like, oh, what? Are you just happy to see me? She's all annoyed thinking he's hitting on her. And he's like, no, I like really have snakes. It's my travel snake. First of all, I have to say, if you're going to travel with snakes in your pocket, why are you using an Oakley sunglass case? So not cool. You're going to go the lengths of being whatever movie villain you're portraying, traveling with snakes in your pocket, and you're going to put them in an Oakley sunglasses case? That's not cool. If you're going to act like Indiana Jones, you better dress like Indiana Jones. Those snakes belong in a leather clutch. In one of those bags that are like made of fresh suede. It's like raw suede, and you have like a drawstring, and you open it, and it like a genie comes out, and then the snake comes out. It's the only way you can travel with snakes. You can't put it in a sunglass case. You need a Middle-earth pouch. You need that thing that the Lord of the Rings traveled with. Wherever the fuck that Gotham kept the ring, that's where your snake should be. At the very least, you could have had him someplace cool, like a leather satchel. Is all I'm saying if you're going to travel with them. And, okay, Miami, like, first of all, TSA is like, look, we found snakes in this guy's pants. What's all the white stuff? Was it just snakes that you found, Miami? Because it looks like cocaine. Is this what you guys do so you can traffic drugs through the Miami International Airport? You're like, look, there's turtles in this lady's purse. What's all the white stuff behind it, Miami? Is this how you traffic drugs? You're using snakes and mirrors to distract us? I think it looks like there's chunks of cocaine.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane! Everybody strap in! We're about to open some fucking windows.
There's some, a little bit of Ozark situation happening here. Mozart and Ozark. It is almost like a symphony of drugs in this guy's pocket. I say, I raise your snake and I raise it to cocaine. It looks like cocaine to me in this little Oakley satchel. Speaking of putting things in places where they don't belong, some lady sent her cat in a box. What is wrong with people, first and foremost? And I don't even trust this situation. I don't trust what's going on. I call a scam. I think everything's a scam. But here it says a stowaway cat from Utah shipped to California in Amazon returns package. Amazon accepts any kind of return, first and foremost. You should know that. You can return anything to Amazon, even a freaking cat. This the article says that there were 5 pairs of steel-toed shoes that they were returning in a 3x3 foot box. Why do you need steel-toed shoes is my question. Unless you live on the Alaskan homestead with Jewel. Unless you work and live on a slaughterhouse farm. Hope you don't. What do you need steel-toed shoes for? The only reason why you need 5 pairs of steel-toed shoes is if you're filming the new season of Yellowstone. What is going on? Are you building the Sears Tower again? Are you building a skyscraper? What in the heck are we doing? The Lay couple said they didn't notice the added weight of their cat in the package since the box already weighed more than 30 pounds. I call a scam. When Carrie Clark got a phone call on April 17th from a veterinarian in California informing her that her cat, which had vanished from her Utah home a week earlier, had been found some 500 miles away, her first reaction was disbelief. I don't believe her. First and foremost, okay? It just doesn't seem... It doesn't seem plausible whatsoever. She says, I could not believe this was true. Neither can we, Carrie. It sounds like a hunk of trash. I told her, I think this is a prank. It wasn't. Galena, her 6-year-old American short hair, had sneaked inside a 3x3 foot cardboard Amazon's return package alongside 5 pairs of steel-toed boots. And the cat was transported 2 states away to one of the company's warehouses where it was discovered by Amazon employees. Can you imagine that employee picking up the box and it meows like that scene from Christmas Vacation?
This box is meowing.
Let me see it. She wrapped up her cat.
Take it in the kitchen and open it up.
Then we'll have a cat running around the
You
house.
can't leave it in the box.
Why would somebody wrap up a cat in a box?
Do you remember when the aunt who's got dementia has the cat inside the box? The box is shaking and meowing. How did that not happen at the house? But can you imagine being the Amazon employee who gets that bag? The blessing. You're so stoned you don't even open the box. You just recite the lines from that movie. You guys just do a whole reenactment of that scene. Grace, she died 20 years ago. The blessing. It sounds really unbelievable. It's either this woman has the chillest cat ever or she has dementia just like the lady from A Christmas Story. Christmas Vacation. Christmas Story is another great Christmas movie. Oh, it's a cartoon one. Despite her ordeal, Galena was in relatively good health with no issues apart from mild dehydration. 2 factors that helped. 1, the seam on the box had become unglued. Who glues a box? Maybe it's like the actual part of the box. Unless this couple has no idea how to return things and they're sitting there gluing, waiting for the package to dry. It allowed oxygen to circulate, and mild weather kept Galena from overheating or freezing. I can't even imagine getting a frozen cat at the Amazon Return Center. Can you even buy a frozen cat on Amazon? I know you can buy those creepy, realistic cats that lonely people get. Those cats that are snuggled and they're all like they're in a ball. And it just stays like that, a stuffed cat. I know you can get that, but can you buy a frozen cat? If I worked at Amazon, I just assumed it was one of those statues. And then when it came back to life, I probably would crap myself. And then I thought, do people... I went on Amazon, and they have those, like... oh, no, I can't open it now. This fucking internet... I'll post it. I'll have Deb posted in the video. They have these like lifelike cats, and the cats are in a little circle. And I was reading the reviews about them, and the reviews were actually really sweet because some of those cats bring a lot of comfort to people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm like, oh God, I feel terrible. Here I am talking crap about these cats that are scary and lifelike on Amazon. And it turns out they actually have a use for people with dementia. So a little side note, anybody listening, if you have somebody with dementia or an old person or somebody who has that sort of issue, you can buy these little cats and they can pet them and it'll bring them comfort. For the rest of you buying them, you're weird. For the rest of you buying them, it's strange. For all the people dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia, it makes sense. Clark said that she thought Galena had gotten to the box while her husband was packing by jumping inside when he left to fetch some tape to seal it up. Of course, Carrie, blame it on the husband. And by the way, that box looks like it was open. So the cat, he didn't see the cat inside. Like, it seems a little vindictive to me, but okay, Carrie, we'll go with your story that it was the husband's fault. Seems like maybe you set him up. Seems like he was up for failure either way. They did quickly notice that their shy indoor cat was missing that same day. After days of searching the house and the neighborhood and turned up with nothing, worst case scenario started running through Clark's mind. Had Galena darted outside without anyone noticing? Had she been snatched up by a predator or end up in the river behind the house? Ruh-roh. What did you say? There's a river behind the house. The husband should definitely, for sure, watch out for that one so he doesn't end up as the latest victim on Netflix's newest documentary, The River Murders. This lady's got a river behind the house. And then she says she does meow a lot. Oh, wait, did she say she does meow or doesn't meow a lot? Let's see. She doesn't meow a lot and she loves boxes. Oh, how convenient for Galena. Did she not meow a lot because you probably gave her some too much indica catnip and sent her away? One of you was mad at the other. People do this stuff to pets sometimes when they're mad and they're mad at their significant other. It's terrible. So she said that because she doesn't meow a lot and she does love boxes, that she was probably happy in that moment. I just call a scam. It's giving Stephen King, Carrie, if I'm being honest. I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. Cats don't run away. They leave. And it seems like this cat had enough of your kibbles and bits and really wanted to get away so bad that she mailed herself to Utah, where she could live with a family with 7 women and have a little bit more attention. It says since the box already weighed more than 30 pounds, Clark and her husband, who live in the city of Lay, near Salt Lake City, did not notice the added weight of Galena. I don't know what has more holes in it, this box or their story. None of it's adding up. I would like to talk to Galena myself, because I bet you that cat is like, you know what? I'm tired of the food. I'm tired of these two. I don't get treated right. I get fed this dry ass kibble, and I need to go kill rats like my ancestors. I'm not living out my truth. Either way, I bet Amazon still accepted the return, for sure, because they accept anything. You can return a frozen cat or a stuffed one to Amazon. It's the greatest and the worst thing that ever happened to us. There's a few more things I want to talk about, but I really want to get to what happened this past week in my life. And I will say that shout out to parents doing it all. Shout out to people with a few kids, a career, a husband, a wife. Shout out to people who are juggling it, making it to their doctor's appointments on time, making it to the PTA meetings and the recitals, and also finding time for yourself. I don't know how you do it. It's the constant time schedule juggle. If you can do that and you're still able to make time for yourself and get everything done, I'm impressed. Color me impressed. Because I think that's one of the hardest things that I am up against right now in my life is all of the things I want to do. And I'm constantly purging the things I want to do in my life. I'm constantly purging. I'm purging left and right because I feel like making more space makes it so I can make clearer decisions and then I don't miss as many things. And so that's the consistent part of my life right now. And what I'm trying to do consistently is to purge all of the things I want to do. And even the stuff in my home, there is really an art to clarity, whether it's clarity in your space. There's a whole belief system there, especially with the Japanese style, the Japandi interior design style and feng shui. There's a whole process to what your environment looks like and how that can sort of clear up your mind. If your space is clear, your mind won't have to worry about the physical chaos in the world as much. Seeing all that chaos can interrupt the productivity of your brain, at least for me. So I'm taking full responsibility for what I'm about to tell you what happened. Back to the beginning of the podcast, what Carlin ate this week and you not being able to believe it. Carlin ate an entire bag, 3-ounce bag of tomcat rat poison. And this poison works as a blood thinner. What it does is it gets into the gut of critters and it creates them internal bleeding. And that internal bleeding is almost impossible to stop. And so luckily, I caught it in time. I was with a friend at a friend's house and we caught it in time. Carlin had literally just eaten it. Pieces of the bag were left over. When this dog eats, he eats. And he eats like he's never going to eat again. And that's common for a lot of pound puppies, a lot of dogs you find in shelters, depending on how they were raised, what the environment was. Same for people. If you were starving as a kid, you hoard your food and you're shoving it into your face. Same with dogs. So he's always had some sort of strange relationship with food. And that's on me to know. That's on me to be mindful of. But I never thought about or knew about rat poison and didn't know what to expect. And now I've learned so much. First and foremost, rat poison tastes like peanut butter. I don't know how they figured that out. Obviously, some flavor profiling, the chemicals they put in, and them matching whatever chemicals taste to make it taste like peanut butter. But you should know that. And you should know when you go to someone's house or you're involved with somebody or whatever the situation is, if you bring your kid or your dog, ask questions. Just ask 1,000 questions. Unless you don't like your kid or your dog, then let them roam around. Let them have fun in the backyard. Who cares? Life is short. Let's put this puppy into overdrive. But I had a great night hanging out. I was like, oh, such a great night. Come back to my friend's place. And I'm like, ruh-roh. Had to put the car in drive. Took him down to the emergency 24-hour vet place, which ended up being its own crazy situation. Because you walk in and all of these people, no one's there for anything good. They're there with their pets. And everyone's kind of sizing up the other, seeing who's in the pecking order of emergency here. And being who I am, I just walk right in. First of all, I don't have a lot of time to deal with because this is serious. Time is of the essence when it comes to poison. So I go right in. I'm like, you got to take them now. We got to do the vomit thing. Where's the doctor? We need Grey's Anatomy up in here. Someone help. Call the police because rat poison is up in the stomach. We need help immediately. So they take Carlin back. And I'm sitting there just observing the situation because there's a lot of different critters in there. Some people are crying. People look worried. Some people look upset. A lot of couples coming in with their critters. And, you know, it's so sad. It's like the saddest place ever. The ER is so sad. And I don't know why this isn't a reality show. Because for sure, when I sat down, I saw these people were in a side room and they came out of the side room and they were all crying, holding a dog blanket. And I thought, oh no, they just put their dog down. For sure had dog down energy. Everyone was crying. Their eyes were red. Even the dude was crying. And it's kind of messed up because you put your dog down, this emotional situation. And it's horrible if you have to do it in an ER. I had to do that for like pets growing up, but my individual pets, I've been lucky. Like my dog died in my arms and I prefer that over going to some sort of vet emergency. But these people are crying. They just lost their dog and it's so clinical there. It's so clinical. Like these people are crying, walking up to the front and the person at the counter, the register girl was like, okay, so how would you like to pay for this? I think I'm paying for it right now. She's like, cash, credit, or Venmo? Let me Venmo you for my dog's death. Can I get a minute? But that's the thing. It's like, as a vet, you're like, all right, you've been crying for like 25 minutes. I need to make more money off of other people crying because their dogs are dying. So can we speed this process up? And can you just like Cash App or Zelle me? It just felt really sad that these people put their dogs down and they're like, all right, so cash or credit? How are we paying for the death of your dog? And then the other thing that's like really funny there is, you know, first of all, I did overhear the people when they were talking to the cash register girl and the girl was like, how would you like to pay for this? That'll be $500. And I was like, God, $500 to put your dog down? For some of you might sound like a deal, but it's like, how much to just like, you know, what if we bring them back? Can we resurrect them? And for me, you know, my cost was like $700. And when they told me that, I was like, oh, so how much to put them down? Would I save money? Is that something we could do? Can we work that out? Is it cheaper to keep them here? I'd like to return the dog. That's the hardest part. You're like, this is my love, the love of my life. How do I put a price tag on that? But while I'm sitting there waiting for everything, waiting for Carlin, waiting to hear what's happening with him, there's people coming out with the pets that had gone in before, and the names are ridiculous. So you're sitting there and it's like, Mochi, and some girl gets up crying. She's like, Mochi's me. Mochi. So she has to go in a room and see what happened with Mochi. And then they come out and they're like, Mr. Wiggles for Mr. Mr. Wiggles with the caffeine incident. Where's Mr. Wiggles? And some guy comes over. He's like, I'm Mr. Wiggles' dad. And he has to go and talk about how he's a shitty dad for leaving caffeine out for Mr. Wiggles. Then this little Bichon comes in through the door. Bitch had a bee sting. I was like, pussy. Carlin ate a whole bag of rat poison. You can handle the bee sting. You're not using our resources for your bullshit bougie accident. Put a little ice cube on your paw and go home. Okay? We've got bigger fish to fry. Literally fried fish with bone in. The dog's choking on a bone. Get out. We don't have space for you. They had to pump my dog's stomach like he was Amy Winehouse. I don't know if she got her stomach pumped, but I would imagine that someone who did a lot of drugs would have to have that situation once in a while. Unfortunately so. He went in there like a rock star. They were like, is your dog out here hanging out with homeless people? What's going on with Carlin? Mrs. Merriweather? Who's the owner of Mrs. Merriweather? Cheeto? Is somebody here for Cheeto? I love when people name their pets like Gary or Steven. Who's here for Steve? It's like, is this a real ER? The thing that was most frustrating is it took forever. But man, these people, they stopped for food about 10 times. They had a barbecue in the parking lot, like a full barbecue in the back of the ER. There was like 7 stations. And I'm in the waiting room. I can't tell you how many times these people came through the back with plates of barbecue. People are putting their pets down. This guy's having ribs. This guy's got mashed potatoes, ribs, and 2 sides. And Mr. Wiggles didn't make it. Did Mr. Wiggles not make it because you guys are out in the parking lot barbecuing? It felt like a party. So where am I? Can't tell you. And then pizza came. Pizza was delivered. They've got a full barbecue in the back. And then a pizza guy came in. I swear to God. They came out of these doors, back into the room, so many plates of barbecue and meats. The pizza delivery guy came. This is how long I was there, by the way. Then an Uber Eats guy came. Uber Eats. I said, all right, what's going on with Carlin? Because you guys had a 4-course meal 3 times already. I've seen 7 Shih Tzus die. 7 dogs have died under your watch. You guys didn't stop. Pizza came and you jumped right up. What's going on in this place? And then, like, you know, you're just throwing shade when you're there and you're watching the people and everyone's coming out and you're like judging. Oh God, this girl, there was a girl brought her cat in, her cat got into garlic, and we're like, oh God, you loser. Check your garlic cloves. Make sure you check your garlic cloves. It's just such an interesting place to be and to see all the different types of people and their pets and how much people love their pets. And it didn't even feel real. It almost felt like a scene of a TV show, and I felt like it should have been a TV show. And you're probably wondering, well, is Carlin okay? He's okay. Am I? No, I'm not okay. I'm not fine. I'm not fine because I should have known better, because his dog loves to eat everything. He loves to eat everything. He's eating things with tinfoil, with plastic, with paper. He's eating entire loaves of bread. He doesn't belong in LA. He'd be a horrible gluten-sniffing dog because he eats gluten. He's eating entire loaves of bread. He's eaten entire bags of uncooked rice. He ate all of Elliot's birthday cake because none of us wanted it. He ate the entire thing, and he pooped and vomited blue for probably a week. His poop was gorgeous. It was the most beautiful poop I had ever seen in my life. He's eaten shrooms. He's eaten edibles. He's got a drug problem. He's an addict. You know, he comes from the pound. He comes from a tough life, a rough life. And I think he's always worried about where his next meal is going to come from. Obviously, even though I spend hundreds of dollars on his food, it's not good enough. And it's nothing I can really do besides to keep an extra eye on him. But there's something to be taken from Carlin's appetite. And I thought I could, you know, learn from this incident, and I know I can, but it's also learning how to live life a little bit. He has such an appetite, and it made me think about an appetite for life. I could be mad at him for everything he eats, or I could choose to appreciate him and sort of be impressed by his incessant desire for more, for him wanting to get a little bit more out of life, for him wanting a little bit more snacks, for him thinking, hey, you know what? That looks tasty. Even when it's clearly labeled a rat poison bag, he's like, that could be one of those pies from a corner store with the blueberry inside, and I'm gonna try it. He's almost like a little kid looking at life through rose-colored glasses and a constant happy lens. And I love him for it. I've had him for almost 13, 14 years, and he's the weirdest, most resilient dog I have ever met in my life, and the happiest. Even when he's eating something that you know is uncomfortable, he's still so sweet. The girl brought him out from the back. They had to induce vomiting and clean him out. And she said what everyone always says when they meet him. They're like, he's the sweetest dog in the world. And he should be, because the amount of stuff he's eating is costing me a lot of money. He's got his own grocery bill at this point. But I do appreciate him, and I appreciate his hunger for life and his zest for life, even though it's in the form of him eating food. It's still something I think I could take and learn how to do a little bit better, is to have a little bit bigger of an appetite for life and to go out and take bigger bites of situations and just realize that you never know when it's going to be your last bite. Might as well make it a good one. Or rat poison. So much for giving him steak. See you guys next week.